What up, YouTube? To Base Boys here. This is going to be our first YouTube video we're putting out. I'm here with Sean, our captain of the team. Today we're going to just kind of shoot from the hip a little bit on this video, but what we wanted to cover was a couple deck tech videos after some games me and Sean just played in TTS. And then we wanted to give you guys a little proper intro of the team. So, Sean, why don't you tell us a little bit about how the team started and how the name came about?
Yeah. So it's kind of funny that in the Star Wars universe or Star Wars Unlimited lexicon that like the phrase "to the base" kind of became a thing. So it's like I do to the base. And I liked that. It sounded cool. It was like the number two and then to the preposition. So I liked it from that aspect, and then also kind of like metaphorically, it's like, two damage to base is a small start, but it's still a start, and just that it begins that march closer to your 30 HP base or 25 or whatever crazy new HPs that
33,
are
35,
coming out. Yeah, yeah.
34.
So yeah, so two is the beginning, and it's a little bit of damage, but it's still damage and still getting you toward your goal.
Yeah, I love the concept, and I think it resonates to a lot of players. And whenever you play your games now and you go to the base, you're gonna think of us. So
That's our name. Don't wear it out.
don't wear it out. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I think where I came in, I I noticed that Sean had changed his handle in the Discord, our Florida Discord that we have here in Florida. And I think I just messaged you straight up and one day and said, "What's to the base?" And you said it's my team. And I said, "Did you have anybody on the team?" And nope. So I said, "Can I be on the team?" And that's exactly how it happened. And it couldn't have been more like natural.
Yeah.
And I don't know like what your stance on it was at the time. Like, what were you gonna do with it? Was it just this thing you made up and didn't expect anything to like spiral until a little while, or like?
Yeah, so I definitely wanted to be on a team, and I wanted a team that, that I created, and there's other teams around, but I wanted something more organically grown than just like hopping on some other team. So I just kind of figured, hey, if I update my handle with, to the base, like we'll see if anyone's actually interested in that. And then sure enough, yeah, Guido messaged me, and then we've grown the team since then. So yeah, just like that metaphor earlier is just kind of doing a little small thing and then
Mhm.
letting it get bigger. So yeah, we've got what, almost 10 people on the team now.
Yeah, we have a couple that are possibly taking a break, but yeah, if I actually looked at it on paper, it's probably more like 7 active
Mhm.
competitive players. We're not there yet with the whole like B team. Hey, we just have the team right now. Um, and a lot of us happen to be dads, so that's a funny twist to all this. Um,
Yeah, certainly life gets in the way when you know we try to squeeze in time to play cards. So the fact that we are all dads, we all understand that time is very precious. So when we do get the time to play SWU together, it's we certainly enjoy it.
yeah, not only do we enjoy it, but we're competitive as hell at it, I think. I think we've had each other tilted quite a few times. And at
Yeah.
local, like that was me at Cool Stuff, which is one of our local game stores here in Florida. Just yesterday we were at locals, and I don't did I play you? I don't think I played you, but
No.
I did play Gabe, and he absolutely slaughtered me with Han Yellow. Um, so sometimes we get matched up against each other, even in like the PQ. I know me and you got matched in the first PQ in Kissimmee, right?
Yeah, I was so heartbroken when that happened because like that was our first team outing, and it was round two and we got paired against each other. So whoever won, like basically kind of damned the other
Yeah,
into not really having a shot, and I didn't want to be paired against you in that round, and uh,
and I was on Boss
unfortunately,
Blue at the time too. So
yeah. Um, So yeah, it happens. Certainly, I've seen like the Bothans at that same PQ. They had so many that they just kind of like kept bumping into each other, and there was kind of like this uh, cannibalism going on where one of them
Bunch
had to
of
win
savage animals.
each other, and yeah. Um, so it's part of the dynamic. But the cool thing is, even if we're losing to each other, there's still that support and camaraderie, and
Absolutely.
that's way more important, I think.
Yeah, it's good. It's great to have support at these events and even at locals too. When you're just like down on your day with the games or whatever. We play. We're dads, but we do take it competitively when we do get the chance to play.
Yeah.
Um, I go out and do a couple Twin Sun nights here and there, but for the most part, I've just had a competitive nature growing up, playing basketball growing up, and then also in the competitive Halo scene. I've always been a competitive gamer, whether it was Smash Brothers. My main game was Halo, but that's kind of where my competitive spirit comes from. So
Yeah.
when it comes to SWU, I'm 34, but in my mind, I'm still that 18-year-old Halo sweat who
Right.
just wants to win. But it gives me a chance to get out of my normal day to day, and having a team is really cool. At the end of the day, you do have a support group, and it's just at our age, with kids, it's already hard enough to make friends in today's world. Um, so it's nice to have a solid group of people I can call friends now, and also team. Appreciate you for facilitating.
Yeah, totally. And the SWU community is so awesome. Like
Hmm.
I've never really experienced a TCG community as like both welcoming and competitive, which is, it's kind of a weird duality, but
Yeah.
like it's such a great scene, and I would really advocate, like, if there's anyone out there who wants to start a team, like just do it, just start small,
Yep.
get some of your buddies, and see where it goes.
Yeah, that's where this video is coming from. That's where this channel's coming from. Is just a couple ideas, and I had my hands wet in some Twitch stuff I was doing, so I had a little experience with doing a little bit of content. So I told myself once I had my second kid, which happened 5 months ago, um, I want to commit to having a hobby still. And I've always been a gamer. I've always been a computer guy. So I didn't want to give it all up. So this is a fun way to be able to take a little while out of my day to record something, put some content out for you guys who love Star Wars Unlimited, and it honestly is a blast doing these. Um, Especially when most of my day, working remotely, I'm talking to nobody, so it's nice to just get out and do something I like to do. That Yeah, that's a little short story of our team. I think how long has it been now since we, I guess, have been a team technically?
It was really right before set three.
Hmm.
um, I think, yeah, it was like during the pre-release for set three that the idea started picking up steam. And then I would say during that time we were a team, but we were just kind of like, again, starting off small, just kind of feeling our way around things. But now that set four is rolling around the corner, we're definitely, prepared to unleash. We've got our content going.
Hmm.
We'll be at the Boston Invitational at the end of March.
Yep.
So again, just a small little thing becoming bigger.
Which, on that note, if any of you haven't seen the video on the Bothan Network YouTube, they did drop a video going through all the teams for the event, the 3v3 event at the Seattle, the Bothan
Yep.
Invitational Atlanta. We actually get the pleasure, I don't know if it's a pleasure yet, of playing Frank's team. Can't remember what the name is. It Bothan Blue?
I believe they're blue,
Okay.
but I could be wrong about that. Yeah, they have so many different teams. But yes, the team we'll be playing will be Frank's team. So we're definitely excited for that, especially since it'll be a feature match.
Yep, it'll
Uh,
be the first feature match of the entire event for the weekend.
yep. Yeah.
So, yeah, no pressure at
No
all. We're
pressure.
chilling.
Yeah.
And I'm coming up there with my kids. We just got a new van, and I'll be up there with my kids, my lady. I actually think I'm taking like the whole next week off of work in addition to that weekend, um,
Oh,
or the Thursday and Friday leading into the weekend. So we're gonna make it a huge family trip, I think. So very excited to have the fam out there, be with you guys and everyone in the Boston Invitational that's gonna be at the event. So super stoked.
yeah. It's gonna be such a stacked event. It's gonna be wild.
Yep. And on one note, before I forget, just we're getting used to this YouTube thing. But in the description, we'll have our link to our Discord, which actually as of the viewing of this video, we'll be announcing that we have a public Discord for a community. We do want to expand and start growing our own little pod of cool players and a cool community who can share like-minded ideas with the game and just keep building our space. So we'll have that in the description as well as our website. So
Yep.
2debase.com, live now. Sean, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I wanted a website where it could be a central point for external communications. So we'll have blog posts up there, hoping for at least once a week. Um, just today, I put up a interview with George the Hulk, which is a really great kind of delve into his mind about deck building. So, if you ever wanted to figure out, what is George thinking when he builds those crazy decks like, Vader Blue or Hondo, it's live on todebase.com right now. And certainly leading up to Atlanta, we'll have a lot of like, kind of like our journey to getting ready for the event and then the event itself.
I'm actually typing in the website right now so we can preview it at the tail end of the video. Super stoked on that. By the way, that'll be George Hudson for those who don't already know him. And if you don't know him, you're probably under a rock. But local here in Orlando, legend, and one of my big inspirations when I started playing. He was actually one of the first people I met aside from you, Sean. Um, and I once I got into SWU, I immediately started YouTubing videos, and I actually got in after the 5K in Orlando, so there was footage of all the turnout and all the matches. And I just fell in love with. I was always a control player in Magic and in Pokemon. Um, so I just kind of fell into that control archetype as my favorite. As of lately, I've branched out of my little control circle just so I can get better as a player and understand other decks. But yeah, George, great guy. Stoked to read up on that, and we'll actually go take a peek at it here in a little bit. But what I do want to look at, let me go ahead and switch us over here on the screen. We actually got to play a couple games here with a few new sort of set 4 type build decks. Um, kind of a bloodbath, to be honest. I got my ass kicked pretty hard. um, I think I took one match out of the whole bout, but
Yeah.
against Han, I'm not sure if we got there. But you want to run through your deck first, and I'll go through what I played.
Yeah, so this originally started out as a Leia deck because I just love all the new Rebel cards, like the fact that the Falcon is now a Rebel, the fact that Chewie is a Rebel. That's just awesome because in set one they were Underworld and they didn't have any sort of Rebel synergy. So the fact
Mm-hmm.
that we can play those now and we can capitalize on Fleet Lieutenant, on Wing Leader, is just great.
Yep.
However, when I had the Leia build going, it felt too slow. Like, yeah, if I can get the units out, then awesome. But
Needing
like,
those 2
I
units
need to
out.
go quicker. Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, Han 2 can, cheat out the units quicker than
Mm-hmm.
Leia can. So let's try that out. And at first, I literally just swapped Han for Leia, or Leia for Han. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And we played a couple test games with that, and it's like, no, this isn't doing Han things. This is, this is weak. So I took it back to the drawing table and added some new cards and a different understanding of how I wanted to play the deck. And now the deck is cooking.
And you love
Uh,
Han. You've been on Han 1 and 2 since they've been incepted, pretty much.
yeah, during set three, I had a little bit of an identity crisis. I was playing Quinlan, which is an awesome deck, but like, it's kind of like when you pick a leader that like you just resonate with, like you can just you just feel it. And I
Yep.
wasn't feeling it with Quinlan, so I went back to Han and Han won, and I'm glad I did. But yeah, I'm a Han player. If you guys don't know that by now,
And for
so
good reason, because he's an awesome leader.
yeah, so I was thrilled to add him into
Hmm.
green with some of the set four spice. Like the new Poe unit is pretty cool because with Han you can play him on resource turn three. He'll get damaged, but then you just
Move it.
create that X-Wing token, attach him as a upgrade onto the token, and then suddenly that damage doesn't matter anymore.
That damage goes away when that happens.
Yeah, as far as I understand, because he's a
It's
unit,
like
or
a
I'm sorry,
moving.
correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I interpreted it. um,
Definitely up for discussion, but I think that's how it happens.
yeah, but
Because it
even
goes
still,
from
like,
being a unit to just being an upgrade at that point.
right, yeah. So and upgrades don't have
Yep.
damage on them. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
um, Also, a really sweet move is turn one Falcon, and then on turn one play R2 onto the Falcon. Turn two put Chewie on it, and then
Yeah.
go to town.
And
uh,
then win the game. Yep.
yeah, so it's like the fact that you can bring something in damaged, but then immediately just put R2 on it for zero, and you're cooking.
Yeah.
Um,
Bright Hope making sure space is locked down for all these, set for space decks. Bright Hope's just going to be a three
yeah,
of pretty much in all these kinds of decks.
yeah, it's really just like just go out there and absorb damage, like
Yep. Oh, it worked
just
out.
like
It worked out good. Saved you in a
yeah,
few of those games. It really did.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
then you've got the ECL special with the Poe and the Wrecker, so you have that combo in
Mhm.
there, which is super strong still, and some K2s just to keep the reach damage going. Then you, of
Right.
course, have Forecast I believe in, and if I'm looking at the screen correctly, every card is here. So you have 100% hit rate on that, um,
Correct.
which
Yeah.
is absurd. And it played a role in every game we played. I think we might have played like 4 games. I'm not sure. Three or we definitely did 3, but I think we did an extra game. I
Yeah.
just couldn't squeeze. Couldn't squeeze a win there.
And
Um,
I love this new trench run card because it's almost like it's like for a cause, but kind of better. um, because you're buffing your unit, it gets to swing in, and then yeah, it's gonna potentially take damage, but it's like if it dies, oh well, it swung for four plus
yep,
whatever other power it had, and you're milling your opponent.
yep.
So
Losing 2
sure.
cards and you're swinging to my
Yeah.
face for a lot of damage, and you've got enough fighters in here, I think, to get it off with the number you put in with 2.
Mhm.
Just that little extra burst of damage goes a long way. Showed in those
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Uh, Probably if I had to make any modifications, I might cut back on the old Poe unit, maybe by one. Um, but for right now, it's kind of the deck's firing on all cylinders, so I don't know that I
yeah.
really need to modify it much. Obviously, it doesn't have a sideboard, so that'd be more meta dependent.
Hmm. Yeah, a lot of sideboards are TBD right now,
Yeah.
especially with the set still spoiling. I mean, just today, I wasn't quite prepared to have all of what was revealed today prepared for this video. But sure enough, we're gonna put out a lot of videos. I already have a pre-recorded video of another session I did with one of our team members, Gabe. I'll be posting that as well, probably after this is posted. as we wanted kind of an intro video as our first piece of content for you guys to kind of get a feel for us as a team. So, any other thoughts on the deck? I see you have Rebel Assault just to push more damage when you have multiple units out.
Yeah, I think red ECL heroism is going to be a thing, whether you're
Mm-hmm.
running, Luke or Poe or Han. So it'll be. I'm interested to see who kind of comes out on top
Mm-hmm.
in that race. But I'm
Yep.
willing to bet my credits on Han.
I'm wondering here. I was just looking at the list total. I'm wondering here on the whoa. Okay. I'm wondering on the red leader unit. It costs was it one less for each pilot
Mhm.
and upgrade friendly pilot and upgrade. So even
Right.
if the pilot's on the ground, would that count?
When yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
even if was it like R2 if R2 is on the ground,
Okay.
uh, less.
There we go. That's yeah. So I'm looking at the list though, and I'm seeing like, okay, you've got your Poe, and you've got Chewie. Um, and I guess you have R2 as well. So yeah, I guess you do have access to take advantage of that a little bit. Um,
Yeah, I did see Veiled Shot running Red Leader in. I think he had a Luke deck.
mhm.
And at first, I was a little skeptical of Red Leader, but seeing him play it made me reconsider it.
I mean,
Uh,
when a pilot upgrade attaches to the unit, it creates a unit. So that right there is enough to play it. Kind of
yeah,
forgot about this second part of that very important text.
yeah, and if I'm doing, the Han stuff like turn one Falcon, turn one R2,
You'll have
you
it.
know, I could cheat out Red Leader for even less
Oh
than,
yeah. Yep.
so he'd be
Because you're
two
using
resources.
Han.
Yeah.
I mean that's really great.
So
And then getting
yeah,
a unit in addition.
right.
Really good stuff. I think R2 is going to be an automatic include in most decks.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, it's like a zero cost upgrade. Why not?
I mean, bring on the upgrade hate, but until you have it in your hand to use, you're
He's
making
kind of
big
slim.
units. So
Yeah, yeah.
cool. Love the deck. I think we'll see some of this. Interesting choice on going Han over something like Poe or Luke, but hey, it's what you're used to, and I don't blame you for going on the more like what you're comfortable route. And I think a lot of people, a lot of good players will argue playing what you're comfortable, and we're just for the scope of things, we're preparing for the Boston Invitational right now. We're practicing set 4 so we can decide what we're gonna play. Um, just because the set comes out, I think like a week before the event.
It's
So
something like that. It's basically like we'll be scrambling to make sure we get all the cards that we need for our decks. Maybe even like buying booster packs on the way down there or the way up there.
yeah, I mean we're already pre-ordering cards for a ridiculous cost just so we can make sure we have the upgrades we really want in these decks. So I'm very excited.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think
And
set four in itself is going to be awesome, and then the fact that we have this invitational event like right at the dawn of it
mhm.
being ready is great.
Yep, I'm excited, and I've just been having fun playing. It's refreshing to be playing a new set before it comes out and being able to use some of these online ways to play with the new set is really cool. Um,
Yeah, but let's talk about some
talk
Piet
about the
here.
spice.
Yeah.
So a lot going on here. So using thermal oscillator.
Mhm.
Every time I've played with this so far, I will say like maybe I didn't win any of those games against you, but I think there were times where I felt in control and I'm like, oh, this deck can run through aggro. If it can get to where it needs to soon enough, but I think the 3 health is really is kind of hurting in a way. At least
Mhm.
with Tarkin Town, I have the ability to kind of keep up a little bit. Um, to try to even out things with removing a unit with the epic action, but I will say I've drawn every game I've played. I've been able to see one of each card at least with this, so very interesting on the math side of it. I I
Yeah,
want
and that brings up a good point. It's like, with all these new special bases and special HPs coming out, like you really do have to put some strategy into which base you're going to choose. And, is thermal
Mhm.
oscillator the right call for this? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But um, I think there's definitely a place for it. And like I said, like it helps you draw the cards that you need.
Yep. So that felt really good. Although some games I just felt like I wasn't drawing what I needed. So
Mm.
don't I think you have to do the math and really dial in and actually like jot down how these games went and keep track of this because it's not justifiable right now for that 3 health, but it's not like I have any sentinels. Well, I do have on the ground. We've got the phase 3 dark troopers, but I'm not playing any black sun for space sentinels, so I don't really have a way to come back. It's like you got to do what you got to do the job. It's just like same thing with ECL or Tarkentown. You got to get the job done before the game gets too late, or you're just gonna lose. Um,
Exactly.
but going through the deck list a little bit,
Hmm.
starting with the P8 unit, he's just an auto kill late game because what this deck's gonna do is do unfair things like I'm gonna flip Piet and play my Ruthless Raider for 4 while I ambush it in if Piet unit is out. The baby Piet is what we call it. Um, that interaction is just really crazy in this deck, just because I think right now, uh, baby Piet isn't as popular, but being able to bring these other capital ships in a couple turns earlier and ambush is where it gets a little scary to have him alive because I know I think you did Poe and you Poed in you ECL Poed into
Yeah.
Piet unit instead of the leader when you easily could have discarded to do the 2 extra damage and just kill my leader.
Hmm.
Um, but instead you
Yeah.
went ahead and you killed Piet unit, which ended up working out for you.
Yeah, because it's kind of like in that case, I was just racing you, and if you could, sling a capital ship at me, ambushing it in, that was really going to hurt my board state. So I knew I needed to get rid of that ambushing ability because, yeah,
Mhm.
baby Piet is not to be underestimated.
Yep. Tie Bomber, interesting card. In that matchup specifically, ECL. I mean, you're able to ECL something out of space and just one hit it, so that didn't feel really good. Also, all you had to do was really just put a 1 cost upgrade on, you know, any ship you started the game with, and it
Hmm.
dies next turn. So it's an okay opening turn. Most people are probably putting that 3 to base, so their turn 1 play isn't dead. Um, but yeah, that card sort of interesting. It might be better just with being able to put it might be better in Vader, being able to put, some buff it up a little bit and make it not so weak.
Yeah,
So I
that
could
or the new Boba Fett leader.
yeah, I could see it being a little pesky and something that's not this deck. So that 2 slot might go to something else. If I continue with this deck, but I'll be honest, I netted this deck and just kind of started to play it. Then I didn't build this. But I'm trying to get a groove and find out. I usually net and then kind of tweak throughout. That's kind of how I've
Yeah.
been throughout all my time. I'm trying to
Hmm.
get better um, at deck building, but for now I'm just kind of looking online to see what everyone else is feeling out. Force chokes in here just to do 5 damage to something on the ground, so that's still pretty good. Disabling Fang Fighter is probably going to be more popular in this set in some red decks just to keep more upgrade hate going.
Hmm.
Corona Outlaw is a really good opening play in this deck because although you get a resource buff or a ramp if you kill it, it is a capital ship.
Yeah,
So
that would surprise me. I thought it was just a fighter, but it's like, oh no, that is a capital ship.
you can turn one
And
play it with Piet, have a 3/5 on your first turn.
yeah, and that 5 HP is really hard to. That's a hard hill to climb over.
Yep, early game is definitely not supposed to be there. And then Strike True with that combo is pretty good. So
Oh,
you can outlaw Corona and then Strike True anything they've played. So like a Green Squadron A Wing, most turn one plays are gonna get killed by that combo. And Outlaw Corona is gonna live through that. And if you don't have, and if you're looking to do a planetary bombardment shenanigans with a capital ship, it's nice to have Outlaw Corona out sooner than
hmm
some of these other late game capital ships. So that synergy is pretty cool too, having an early capital ship out.
definitely.
Um, Couple of sentinels just to hold down the ground and make sure ground is maintained for a little while and save some damage there. And then there is ramp here, which wondering if going all in on ramp is really worth it. Probably not as heavy. Maybe two of each even would be fine, and then you can fit in two other units maybe. But you're already cheating stuff out. So like, is that just a ramp more situation? I don't know. Still
Mm.
kind of wondering because Super Laser Tech felt like it was too slow. Believe it or not, just to have out.
Yeah, because you can't e-sell that out. I mean, maybe if you have like a timely intervention to sling it at something, but yeah, I could see that because Piet is ramping himself, so it's like,
Yeah,
do you need to waste those card slots on
I mean
hard
that's
ramping?
6 cards that could be. I mean, maybe a resupply in a turn where you're not able to play something, or it's just set up for you like, oh man, if I had a resupply right now, that'd be so good. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, the laser tech's wondering if that's even. To be honest, might even be better to just take some of that out and put something like a uh, I'm blanking on the unit, the black unit that when it dies it readies a villain unit. The one
Oh,
one
I know who you're talking. Mahdi.
Mahdi.
Yeah, there
Playing
we go. Now we're talking.
maybe Admiral Mahdi in here to like have some of this stuff ready, and if you can get it going, you can actually planetary bombardment your own Mahdi to untap. If you have Devastator out, you could do unfair stuff like maybe like untap it when you play it because you can kill your own Mahdi and ready a Devastator.
Yeah, now we're
Like
talking.
that would be so cool. Resupply carrier is interesting. I think it's a good card, but again, it just goes back to like that ramp, and I think it's just in here for the capital ship tag. Being able to play that on four or for 4 resources is pretty good if you're not able to play the Ruthless Raider for 4.
hmm
It's got OP in here, which is playing big space units. You're gonna be wiping some units out with that. Predators is interesting, but it makes sense with all these like low cost ships being upgraded.
Oh yeah,
So they count as like Traitorous is online for those units that you're stacking
yeah.
upgrades
It's like
on.
a two for one.
So like put your Chewy on that 3 cost whatever it is, blue leader or whatever, and uh let me just take it from you.
hmm
That'd be pretty crazy. So I can see why that's in here. Gladiator Star Destroyer is good because when you cheat it out early and give something Sentinel, it could save you a lot of damage in a turn. In my case, that didn't help me much, but I brought him out and made my leader a Sentinel, but then you ended up swinging for 5.
Yeah,
Can't
I
remember.
threw the blue
Like,
leader into him.
yep. And then on the top end, it's got turbo laser, which can wipe boards in an arena. We saw that happen in a game, and then a couple devastators to close it out. So it's really just trying to play things early that shouldn't be played early, and
hmm
start wiping boards with some unfair cards. And if you could stick a capital ship, or if you can stick Devastator and play Planetary Bombardment, you can definitely do some damage. And we did see that happen, but it
Yeah.
still wasn't enough. It was
By the
very
time
close by one HP.
yeah.
So I almost got you in one, but this deck probably going to struggle against some of those real aggro decks. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but I think Piet's definitely a contender. I think you'll see a lot of him in the meta.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, that'll definitely be interesting seeing all these capital ships coming out of hyperspace right in front of you.
Gonna be so sweet. I can't wait. Um, any final thoughts? It's been great getting this first video out to you guys. Like I said, we're gonna consistently put out content. I'm committed to it. Um, but yeah, I'm very excited for the new set. What's going on? So this week, I'll be out of town through Thursday, Friday, back next week. So more stuff to come next weekend. But are you going to locals this week?
Oh yeah, uh, yeah, definitely hitting up locals. Still running Han One Green right now. Um,
Old Faithful.
but yeah, whole faithful. But basically just kind of doing a victory lap on set three and getting ready for set four.
Sounds good. Yeah. We're gonna be doing what I know we'll be putting out is actually I would like to do some videos on some live play. So we're gonna look to do that and maybe even do some live streams on YouTube. We're able to do that, and I think that'll be cool to give you guys some live action content from us too as well. So more stuff to come, more exciting stuff to come from Two to Base. We're excited to put ourselves on the map a little bit. I love I love doing content.
Oh yeah.
I love being a part of a cool community, and it keeps me busy. So and it gives me nice um out of the mundane and regular day to day. It gives me something to look forward to. So I appreciate you bringing me on, man, and allowing me to help you facilitate what you're trying to accomplish, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's been awesome having you on the team, and yeah, look forward to seeing all the cool stuff we get to create and share out to the world.
Yep, can't wait. Well, guys, it's been good, and we'll see you next time. Take it easy.